Alright everyone, welcome to another First to Format video. Now today we're going to talk about some spice that I've been cooking up with, but before we begin, I just want to speak out to everyone out there that's fighting their battles. I know that everyone's got something that they're dealing with, no matter what it is. Maybe you're getting into a new hobby, maybe you're trying a new relationship. No matter what it is, it's always going to be hard at first, but the more that you do it, the easier it gets. Now I respect y'all and thank y'all so much for coming to my video, but listen, I know the format is wild right now. Banlist just dropped, we got Malice and Ryzeal, they're the top two decks. Tenpai kind of got blazed over. There's a lot going on. Fulos and Perulia, they're all over the place, but where does that put the format? Where does that put our deck variety? Sure, we can always build variations of Malice and Ryzeal, but I have a special love for Voiceless Voice, so I wanted to put some glaze on Voiceless and show you some of what it can do into this new format. First off, Dimension Shifter, right? It's being played considerably less now that Malice and Ryzeal both are not affected as much by it. That brings more freedom to decks that utilize the graveyard, decks like Voiceless and Fiendsmith. Secondly, we wanted a deck that can play decently around Fulos, as most decks will be main decking Fulos. I have a large opinion about that, we can get into that in another video, but we don't want to give our opponent the advantage if we have the ability to play around it. Lastly, we want a deck that can play through multiple hand traps and play around Nibiru, because Nibiru will be seeing a rise in its use now that Malice and Ryzeal have entered the picture. Voiceless Voice is a great card, great deck, everything about it is great because it counters Nibiru and it's great at playing around Fulos, but the deck has some inherent struggles. Going second, playing through multiple disruptions, and also breaking those boards. Even with us using the hand traps to slow them down, the deck can still have a hard time purely playing through those boards. So we're going to add a supplementary engine that is great going first or second, that's going to help with both those weaknesses, and that archetype is Fiendsmith. Now Fiendsmith, for those that don't know, is great because it plays around hand traps considerably well and it can play through them, and it offers a lot of flexibility and variety for decks without even using a normal summon, because with Voiceless Voice we want to normal summon our low, but a lot of times we may not have that low, and or we also don't need to normal summon the low. We can use Saffira to go ahead and special summon it out. So there's ways of even playing the Voices deck without having to normal summon. And then in those instances, maybe you hand drew into your Lurrie, and it's like, okay, well great, I have a drawn Lurrie that I need to normal summon to get into my Fiendsmith engine. You have the flexibility to do that. So both these engines play beautifully into each other. But enough chit chat, let's see how our deck does against some random duelists. Alright, so our first match here, it looks like we're going to be going against heroes. So I'm not super familiar on the heroes end boards or what they have to play through, but let's just go ahead and see how this goes, see how this plays out. So first off, they went ahead and used the Hero Lives. I went Ash Blossom that because I wasn't sure what they were going to summon that I needed to get rid of, but they paid half their life points for it, so I figured an Ash Blossom would be good, make them use their normal summon, etc. Now I'm seeing that Enforcer here, and I'm a little nervous about that, but he uses it off, and I'm not sure if that was the right play or not. Either way, I drew into an Impermanence, so I feel like that was good. I can go ahead and Impermanence whatever they had, and I have my Fiendsmith engine, so I can play forward. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Desiree and set up some plays. Got these negates on board. I did happen to have the 2 bricks from Voiceless Voice, unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is. It's our first match of the day, but we did still get our victory. So let's go ahead and go into game 2 though. Let's see how game 2 goes. So naturally they're going to go first again. So I was holding on to the Ash Blossom. I was waiting to see if he was going to use some sort of fusion spell, especially one from deck or anything, or from the graveyard, just anything like that that I could potentially use Ash Blossom for, but nothing came up. It's fine. And here, when I went and used the Saffira earlier, I probably should have gone for the Fiendsmith engine first to bait out the hand traps and then gone to the Saffira engine, but it's all good. It all plays out well into the end. Get that Ash Blossom gone, and we got our first match win. So Heroes, again, I don't know if he played that most optimally. I'm not sure. I'm not a hero player, but all in all, we got our dub. So let's move on to our next match. So here we are. Looks we're going against Pearly. Now, they have a few board breakers, and they're going first, which is interesting. They have board breakers and have traps. And we drew most optimal. We triple Nibiru, and we got our Fiendsmith brick with our Kashtira engine here. So this is going to be really interesting seeing how this plays out. But we'll go ahead and show y'all. So at this point, I'm just like, please let me get this Nibiru off. I got 3 of them. I just want to use one of them. I don't care which one. I just need one of them. So here, I went and special summoned my Fenrir, and in hindsight, I should have used the Fenrir to attack the beauty first, just to potentially get my Fenrir off instead of trying to add first. But it is what it is. Also, I noticed they didn't set their imperm, which I felt was interesting. I don't know why they kept that in hand. Maybe they thought they could have used it from hand, or they expect them to blow up their board. I don't know. But I did think that that probably wasn't the most optimal play in their hand. Either way, I got 3 Nibiru. I just need one of them to go off. So once again, back to waiting. Now, initially, I was going to try and banish the field spell with the Fenrir. I think at this point, I just want to get the Noir out the way, so I'm trying to banish the Noir. Now, I am also not a Pearly expert. This person seems like they know what they're doing. They're a diamond player. Not sure, but yeah, I'm just like, just get one more summon. We just need one more. And thankfully, here we are. We get our Nibiru off. Thank goodness for that, man, because it was looking rough. And now I got to figure out how I'm gonna get this big old token up off the field. I'm sure I'll top deck into something, but this was weird. They attacked into me with that. I don't know why you would do that. I don't know. Maybe it was a misplay on their end. Best top deck ever. Got my imperm. I'm going to go ahead and pass. So, and maybe I'll get Nibiru number 2 off. You know, maybe they'll do some shenanigans. This was interesting, though, is he tried to special summon from deck, and then it didn't work. So I guess he's got no monsters in deck. And I top deck Lacrima. He preemptively used imperm. Probably wasn't the smartest decision there. But now I'm going to go ahead and go full combo. And by that I mean just remove the monster, which was enough to secure our win. Alright, round 2, they're going first again. Let's see how this one plays out. So they normal summoned, I went ahead and ashed it. I didn't want them to get the field spell, let's just ash it. And I got both my Voiceless and my Fiendsmith engine here, so I'm feeling pretty good. And of course double Nibiru, because why not? So right now, I just want to kind of set my board to protect myself from hand traps. I want to make sure that my Voiceless engine goes off. So protect it from Nibiru. There it goes. Bear protects me from effect failure and from imperm, but I didn't even get to go off because we won that. Match number 2 is a win. Now our final match here looks like it's against a Ice Jade deck. Maybe something to do with Ice Barrier, but we opened up pretty well. 2 hand traps, and we got access to our Fiendsmith and our Voiceless engine. So this is going to be a pretty good match. And we won the die roll. So this guy Bizer is one of the Masters player here, so he's a pretty good player. I think he played pretty well. So at this point, I'm trying to go for like a greedy play. I'm trying to get as much as I possibly can out. So we got our 1 card Voiceless engine. We got our Omni Negate on board. We got our next Negate on board. And we're going to go ahead and get our trap. Now he happened to have the answer to our High Wave King, but it's fine. Now we're going to go ahead and get our Special Summon Negate out. I'm just going to go ahead and get another Engraver on board. Go ahead and use our Ash Blossom on that. And we're going to negate and banish that. And scoop up game 1. Alright, so moving on, game 2. So game 2 is going to be a little bit interesting. We don't have a starter. We got 2 hand traps, evenly matched. We'll see how this works. So they didn't have like the strongest board, but still a good board. I mean, the Lancia is a strong monster. So my goal is I need to get rid of this Lancia, but I should have focused more on either banishing it face down with Fenrir or destroying it by battle. So I was trying to bait as much as you could get out, so that way I could evenly match them, which did work. And I just needed something. I needed anything. And I got another evenly matched. That's exactly what I needed. So now I'm living on a prayer. I got a Lacrima. Okay, you know, I might be able to make this work. And I know he's trying to make me discard cards. And here I should send the Desiree to get rid of the Iceberry monster. But I should not have used this to send him. I should have focused more on getting my Desiree out and probably swinging over it, because now my resources were banished and that was the end of that game. Moving on to the final game though. So we get to go first once again, and we kind of opened up pretty dang good. We got access to both engines, including Fenrir as well, so we have a lot going forward, and it looks like they don't have any hand traps, they just have board breakers, so we're feeling good. Even if they did have hand traps, like, we have a lot of way to play through multiple disruptions. Alright, so I'm going to go for like the most greedy play I possibly can here. We get our Desiree out, Agamon, and now at this point he's got a Super Poly in order to get out. He was going to Super Poly my Ritual Monster, but he preemptively used it as opposed to waiting, which I don't know if that was the right play in his part, but either way he still was able to bait my Omni Negate. I thought he was going to claim water, so I couldn't target them, and I wanted Fenrir to be able to target, so I got double baited. Now this normally isn't a big issue. I should have just banished his Lancia face down with Fenrir, but I kind of misplayed and instead sent it to the graveyard. It's alright. And I got my stuff banished, but it's okay. Still able to get over it. And now I'm able to kind of control the board from here. So now I'm going to use my Fiendsmith engine and try and bring some resources back and top deck into the game ending card here, D Barrier. Like, this is for sure a game. So I got 3 forms of disruption here and a D Barrier. Yes, it's GG's. Went ahead and negated those. And we're going to scoop up this game. While I didn't play against any Ryzeo or Malice decks this time, you'll see me still play it some here and there. But if you guys, let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any like edits I should do to it, maybe to the main deck, maybe to the side deck, extra deck. There's a lot of wiggle room into it. I'm going to mess around more with the side deck. I do want to touch up the main deck some too, probably some of the ratios. I'm not 100% certain here. I have played around with like the Nibiru engine and those various different packages and whatnot, but I'm open to all different types of things. If you guys have any decks that you want to see me play, you know, comment down below. Tell me what decks you want to see me play. I'm trying to play all different kinds of things. I don't want to strictly just play meta. I'm trying to make these decks that aren't as meta and make them as best as they possibly can be. So if there's anything you want to see me play, one of the decks eventually you're going to see me play is going to be Evil Swarm, for example. I'm going to be out there trying to make Ophion great again. So you just let me know what you want me to play. Let me know if there's something you want to see. Comment below. Thank you again, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and y'all take care.